And let me congratulate those associated with COJO for the work that they do each and every day, for bringing together services, for knitting together the support and the help that people need each and every day. It isn't easy. And the one thing I think the government understands or needs to understand, we can't do it all. We definitely can't do it all. Without the help of fine organizations like COJO, without your support and assistance, without your leadership, New York City isn't the great city, isn't the greatest city in the world. It is because of what you do, because of the services that you provide, because of the information that you have out there for those in need. Things work, and New York City is a better and finer place for it. So let me just thank all of you for your involvement. Let me thank you for what you do each and every day. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with COJO and the West Side in the future.
What COJO did during Sandy, I can't thank you enough. You know, people who were in parts of the city like the West Side that weren't overly impacted, you didn't have to go out and reach out to others, but you did because that's what your work is about. And it was noticed across the city, the generosity of COJO of the West Side and those who were still with power hadn't been impacted. So on behalf of all of those constituents, we thank you so much for reaching beyond your catchment area and really spreading your good work across the city.
I want to commend the West Side of COJO and look forward to working with them in the future. Thank you for inviting me, and have a great day. Thank you.
I do know how much COJO means to everyone in New York. I do know for a fact how important COJO was here on the Upper West Side with helping all of those who were severely hurt and affected by Superstorm Sandy in Brooklyn and in Queens and out on Staten Island. And for that, I thank you. You do everything you can to improve your community. And the reason why we're going to be fast today is because I can look all around at all of the candidates who are running for high office. We're all getting ready to march in the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And one thing I can tell you about New York is its wonderful diversity. And it makes me think about this because I was running late this morning, and I say this prayer every morning, and I was going to say it privately, but I'm going to say it now. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It really means a lot about the diversity of New York that we can rejoice in this day.
There's something to appreciate about West Side COJO because you focus so much on the needs of families, particularly when it comes to their education of their children. And this is the work of all of us, making sure that this city embraces all our children. You do it every day. You help families to reach the education they need. But then you reached out across miles and miles and miles to different neighborhoods in need in a heroic effort. The amount of resources you put together is nothing short of heroic. And you reached out to communities that literally had seen their foundations unmoored by the storm. And you hadn't been there, particularly for folks in the Rockaways, who faced struggles for years. If you hadn't been there for them, they would simply not have been able to restore their way of life as quickly, and for that you deserve tremendous credit. West Side COJO helps people here in this community. You help people no matter where they are in the city in need, and you are always a force to remind all of us in this city of how much we care for and we must defend the state of Israel. I just want to say this is a moment I think is sobering for all of us. Hezbollah's new involvement in Syria, Syria boasting that it will soon have Russian missiles to aim at the state of Israel. This is not a business as usual moment. And for all of us in leadership in New York City, we have to remember, it is our obligation to stand by Israel. We have a special obligation to make sure the rest of the leadership of this country focuses on the needs of Israel. Part of being a New Yorker, being a leader here, is it's our job to get everyone else to remember our obligations to Israel. This is one of those moments we have to double down and make sure we do that. Let's be unified in our support of Israel. Thank you.
This is an organization that really is well known, not just here on the Upper West Side, but all throughout New York for your philanthropy, for your compassion, and for your ability to step up anytime a need arises anywhere in the city or even beyond. And so I'm here, like every other elected official and all the community leaders, to say thank you. Thank you for the great work you do, especially these last few years where it's been probably the worst recession since the Great Depression. So your assistance has been that much more needed than ever before. And to all the honorees, as my grandmother in Taiwan used to say, Mazel Tov to all of you. And I think that we, even in these tough times, we will hang together, we'll be strong, and we will work towards bigger and better things. Chazak ve'amatz.